So, in this podcast, we are going to be talking about accepting your illness. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to a difficult situation, but rather recognizing that the illness is a part of your life. It involves understanding the limitations and changes the illness brings, both physically and emotionally. Acceptance can help you find new ways to live a fulfilling life, even with the illness, by focusing on what you can control and what is important to you. Acceptance is a process, not a destination, and it may involve periods of ups and downs. So stay tuned and hear what we talk about on accepting your illness. We will have different tips and just our story on how we both accepted our illness and how we are still accepting it today.
Podcast. I am Dwayne, and
I am Sam.
all right, we back at it. Another week. How your week been so far, cuz?
Oh, my week been kind of hectic. I actually like my last week. I actually spent a lot of time helping my friend through some stuff, and I've been also just kind of like working on something. I have something in the works that I'm super excited about. I don't want to talk too much about it yet,
Yeah.
but it's something that's working. It's gonna be so good.
Come on now, that's what I'm talking about. I look forward to it. Mine been hectic too. My daughter, she had to get her adenoids and tonsils removed,
Mhm.
so we hadn't slept. The night before, we didn't really get much sleep because of anxiety and just getting everything ready for the hospital stay. We had to stay overnight.
Yeah.
Then last night we didn't sleep because between the doctors coming in and out checking on her
Mhm.
and just not being at home, we didn't get much sleep.
Yeah.
And then all day today, it's been a mixture of her uh
Being in
dealing with
pain.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been man, but hey, we still here, still alive. Oh, not to mention, these doctor fees are freaking ridiculous. So
Crazy.
they didn't tell us that when we got there, our copay was $3,300.
What?
Yeah, 33 copay was $3,300. So
Oh
I
my.
told the guy, I was like, "What did the insurance pay for?"
Right.
Like, if we gotta come out of pocket $3,300, but it was one of them things that, like, I told him straight up. I was like, "Look, bro, we was unaware that we was gonna have to pay that kind of money. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the way life been lifing,
Mhm.
I ain't got it, so I'm gonna give it to God on that one." And he was just
Yeah.
like, "You know what? Let me see what I can do." And I was just like, "I appreciate it, bro, because we ain't got it, and we ain't gonna have it no time soon right now."
Yeah.
And so he made some calls. He was just like, "How much can you pay?" I was like, "Bro, it ain't gonna be nowhere in the ballpark of what you trying to get from me." So, I gave him a number, and he was just like, "That's all." I was like, "Yeah, bro." Literally last week we had to come out of pocket for some unexpected stuff. So
Yeah.
this all I got. And he said, "Hold on, let me see." And then they accepted it. They was just like, "We'll build the insurance and y'all deal with it how y'all want to deal with it after that." I was just like, "Well, I'm gonna just give it to God, like I told you, bro. Like I can't sit here and stress about something I can't take care of, bro."
Yeah.
So, grace of God, we was able to get the procedure done. They accepted what we had, and we're just moving forward.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so funny that you say that because I've been getting calls for the past 2 days because I have my cataract procedure coming up on
yeah,
the 24th. And, even though the insurance is paying, like, I still have to cover like a bunch of different fees. And I was like, I didn't expect to have to pay this. Like, it's not as much as y'all. It's just like 400 and something, but that's still
yeah,
a lot of money that I just
still a
don't
lot of money.
have.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so crazy.
It
Like,
be
people need, like, to get these different procedures to, like, help them to be better in life, but we got to spend so much money. It's
Yeah, I told him.
crazy.
I told him I was like, "Bro, like I don't know, like I literally don't know. Like I see why if you walk around the facility we was in, you can see why they're able to have such a massive facility and all these amenities because look
Mhm.
look how y'all draining people dry with these medical bills and
Right.
medical fees. So
It's like
it is what it
inflation
is.
went up and then hospital fees and doctor fees went up too. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's crazy. It's crazy that they give you the wristband and everything they give you, they boop,
Right.
boop, boop. It's literally boop, and it's just like whatever, man. It's like I can't stress about I can't stress about stuff no more because it affects your health, and it
Yeah.
kind of goes into just what we on our topic today about just accepting disease, and acceptance is a big thing. Um, I feel like for me the word acceptance is kind of like one of those things like you just have to really just be okay with whatever it is you're going through or whatever it is
Mhm.
you have. And so on your end, what does acceptance mean to you?
Oh, acceptance is big. It took me 3 years to accept what I had going on. Because I
Yeah,
wished and wanted so bad to be normal. I wished and wanted so bad to like have my old life back before all of these sicknesses and diseases came along. Um, I struggled, but it was like the moment that I did accept it, I was okay. Like I was better.
yeah,
Like I could go on with my life and just accept that I have a new normal now. So
yeah,
I couldn't, so maybe like, what God had for me, it wasn't in the past. Like I was trying so hard to just go
yeah,
back. But like God was like, no, I have something better for you. So just accept what you have, accept your situation, and I'm gonna bless you. So that,
yeah.
yeah.
You just ministered to me, and you don't even know how much that just ministered to me. Um, so why is it so hard for just anyone as people as humans for us to accept things,
It's because we don't
especially
like,
diseases?
ooh, it's because we don't like to change. We don't want to change. Like we're okay where we are. And it's like when something different comes along or when something else is added to our life, it's like, ugh, like what? Why? Why do we
Yeah,
have to accept this? No, I don't want to accept it.
yeah,
But yeah, it's just like because people just don't want change, and it's it's so crazy because we pray to God, and whatever our situation is at that moment that we pray to God, we ask Him for better. We ask Him to change it. And it's like He changes it for us, but we don't like what it is
yeah,
that He's given us to
yeah,
change.
yeah,
And it's just so crazy because why? I don't want to do that, God. Like, why do I got to do that? But it's just obedience. You just got to be obedient. Once you become
yeah,
obedient, everything you've been asking and praying for is going to come. You might not like how it's going to come, but it's going to
yeah,
be exactly what you've been asking for.
yeah. It's funny. Um, After I said this, we can you can kind of talk about your process. How did you go into being able to accept it? Because it's not
Mm.
an overnight thing in
Yeah.
acceptance. But it's one of those things where it's kind of like you pray, you ask God to either bring you through, give you strength, or change the
Mhm.
situation. And then the funny thing about um, that change usually comes with another situation that gives
Mhm.
you an opportunity to see if you learned the lesson from the first thing.
Exactly.
You'd be like, I know, I didn't ask for another situation like this.
Right.
I asked for it to change. They'd be like, okay, it will change, but you have to change.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give you another opportunity to change, and then you'll get a different outcome.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I'm going to give you another situation similar to see if that's going to finally change you. And
Yep.
it's just like, dang, it's like you get a test, and then if you don't pass that test, or even if you do pass the test, you get I call it make sure that you understood the test. You
Mhm.
get another one to make sure you understood what the
What
first
you
one was all
Yep.
about. It's it just made me laugh because it's just like all of my tests I've been getting, they're around the same thing,
Mhm.
around the same like obedience I need in mindset. And so it's just like I've been through this before. This one, this cut hurt a little bit more than the last one, and the the what after that one hurt a little bit more than the last
Mhm.
one. But I understand. So, but yeah, we kind of veered off because it was on my
Yeah.
spirit. But how did you go about on your process to to learn how to accept
Um,
your diagnosis?
I don't know. It was so crazy because just how things kept happening back to back to back for me. Um, and like I was saying, I just wanted so bad and so eager to just go back to a normal life, to just be able to do the things that I wanted to do again. Um, there was After each test, after each trial, after each disease and sickness, after all these doctor visits and stuff, I was like, okay, God, okay, what do I need to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Um, and so the process was I had to just figure out what it is that I'm not doing differently. Because I think I was just kind of stuck in the same cycle. And so I had to just kind of like sit and think, okay, what is it that I need to change? What is it that I need to do um, to try to just accept what I got is how my life is just going to have to be for either like right now or from now on. So I sat and I was like, okay, I'm gonna pray more. So I started praying more. And then on top of praying more, I got into my Bible more. I started reading my Bible because I actually reared away from church. I stopped believing. And I stopped having faith. And I knew that was the one thing that when I stopped doing that, everything kind of just started happening. I was like, okay, I need to get back. I need to get back to God. And so when I started doing, I started praying more, started reading my Bible more. I started looking into my sicknesses more, just trying to figure out how to just live my life daily with these things. Like, what do I need to do? So I started to um, look at different ways to diet and eat, look at different ways that just daily, just how to just deal with kidney failure, deal with my type 1 diabetes, how to get my type 1 diabetes on track because for years I had above 14 A1C. And I was like, okay, you need to do something different because you're above A1C, 14 A1C is why all of these other things are happening, your high blood pressure, your diabetic retinopathy, the kidney failure. So we need to get this diabetes under control. So I started to, I got in contact with a really good endocrinologist. She told me to get on the pump, get on that pump. You're going to get your diabetes under control. Your numbers are going to look better. Your A1C is going to go down. Got the pump, got the CGM. And when I started to consistently work on that, in 3 months, my numbers drastically changed because I was consistently getting my insulin. And I had a monitor to consistently tell me, like what my numbers were. And on top of that, I changed the way that I eat. Even though as a type 1 diabetic, I can eat whatever I want, I had to change my portion sizes because I was not doing what I was supposed to do. And I was like, okay, we need to do better. We need to change. So I had like really large portion sizes. So I was eating carbs like hundreds, like um my carbs was like in the hundreds, and I should only be eating like 30 carbs or no more than 30. And so I took down my carbs, what I was eating. I tried to eat more carb-less foods, but still having like that little bit of carbs so I could take my insulin. It's just a bunch of different things that I just started to do differently, eating differently, trying to exercise, trying to meditate, and just making sure that I'm consistently taking my insulin the way that I am. If you are not taking your insulin the way that you should, just know you're going to consistently have highs. You're going to be in DKA. You're going to have a high A1C. You have to just stop and look at your life and take accountability for the things that you're doing. You can't blame nobody else but you because you're the only person that can fix your situation. You're the only person that can make you better. Yes, you have doctors. Yes, you have a support system around you, but it's not much that they can do. It's you that has to take that accountability and do what you need to do to be better. And so that's what I did. I just looked at my life differently, started taking accountability, and just moving differently, just doing different things just to be better. And that's how I learned to accept who I was, where I am, and just to know that this is my story for now, but it's not going to be the end of my story.
That's crazy. Yeah, so it was actually a lot of work for you to kind of accept everything that's going on. I would say I had about 50, 60% acceptance, uh, maybe a couple days after my diagnosis. At first, I didn't believe it. I was just like, man, I'm only at the time I was 35. I was like, man, I'm only 35. Like, but in bold, it was said, you are now, your A1C is 7.2, you are now diabetic. And it played out in my head, but I was having so many issues, um, sexual issues,
Mhm.
high blood pressure, and that was weighing on my marriage. And so my process was kind of like a light switch. And it was kind of like, hey, you need to get this in line or else, your marriage is in jeopardy. And so for me, it was just kind of like after I got the diagnosis, cried about it that night, talking to my wife. That next day, I said, nah, this is not going to be my lot in life. And so I went into, like you say, research, figuring out how to get this under control. And literally, once I set my mind to it, it was literally, I was locked in. It was just, I would say, what you mentioned about the new norm, I would say that other 40%, that's what I struggle. And to this day, I still have moments, but I think I've gotten a hand on it. It's just realizing the new norm. Like,
Mhm.
even though my A1C is under control through my diet and exercise, I still get dehydrated
Mhm.
fast. I still struggle with anxiety over health. It's kind of like almost like what was it, hydrochondriac almost in a sense.
Mhm.
Uh, like any kind of feeling that's not normal, hey, I'm rushing to the doctor, or I'm, you know, messaging my doctor on my chart, you know, asking him what this could be. And so that's the part, the anxiety about my health is the thing that I'm currently focused on
Mhm.
right now. Uh, so my acceptance, I would say, is a good about 80% now. Um, Once I get the anxiety about my health under control, I believe I'll be fully acceptive of the new norm
Yeah.
on my end. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the biggest thing is because with the acceptance comes the mental aspect of it.
Mhm.
It's like your mind, I don't know why this thing is so just easily influenced by negative thoughts and intrusive thoughts, and you literally have to make a conscious effort to garden it, make sure the weeds don't get in, because otherwise it'll get in your garden and just
Mhm.
run destruction over everything. And that's something that I had to just kind of realize that, like, it's a process. It's literally a process
Yeah.
of
It's so funny. You saying like you're thinking like negative thoughts or like you have to speak positivity over you. You have to.
yeah,
Um because regardless of the people that you have around you, what your words are so powerful. Words are so
yeah,
powerful. So if you're not speaking positivity over yourself, just know that there's somebody around you that's probably being negative. Like you got to think about it. Older people, their heart be in the right place, but they words don't be in the right
yeah,
place. Like it's like they care about you so much, but they end up saying something that could be so negative and it can affect you in a bad
yeah,
way. So they can dang, what's something that they could say? Like uh oh, I don't know. Dang, what's something that somebody like told you that it
uh,
was like they tried to
uh,
be so positive but it came out so negative.
oh yeah, don't you be on some stuff like, you need to go ahead and just take the medicine what the doctor tell you, and all this natural stuff that you're trying to look into, and all this stuff. Just go ahead and take your medicine and go about your business, and just kind of like not trying to get, like, in my case on the type 2, not trying to be on medicine, but just take your medicine and just hush and don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things. It's just kind of like, in the past, the people who've had problems with diabetes, type 2 diabetes for at least, they kind of just take their medicine and just keep living life.
Mhm.
They don't want to be off the medicine. It's just kind of like this medicine is kind of like a crutch. It's like, I'm just go ahead and take my medicine. I'm gonna keep eating bad, and keep gaining weight. And so they're gonna have to keep increasing my medicine to offset with my lifestyle or my
Mm-hmm.
inactivity or the weight gain. And so that's the kind of stuff I hearing. It's just like, you don't take no medicine, you need to get on medicine. That's
You're
not
right.
sustainable long term,
It's like
you
everybody
know.
becomes so dependent on medicine.
Yeah,
And it's so bad. And they tell you too, I was thinking about it, like as I was younger, people would tell me, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not supposed to be doing that or this. And I'm like, yes, I can. I
yeah,
can do
yeah,
the same things that you could do. I just have to limit myself. Like people used to tell me like, "Oh, can you go outside? Like can you be running around and doing all these activities?" Yes. When you
yeah,
are sick, you're supposed to exercise. You're supposed to get up and move. Like even
yeah,
today, my grandparents and again, they heart be in the right place, but they be telling me, "Don't be doing too much. The one thing that's gonna
mm,
make me do the opposite of what you say is by telling me what to do. Like, please don't
yeah,
tell me what to do. Please don't,
yeah,
because I know what I can do better than you can. And they're on the
yeah,
outside looking in. But I hate when somebody tell me that I can't do something, because I'm gonna be that one person that's gonna show you. Okay, you gonna tell me I can't? I'm about to show you that I can. Like, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that motivation. I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. That's why sometimes I just don't even tell people. Uh, and this is something I had put in my book, my first book I put out. Sometimes you just gotta keep a lot of your moves to yourself, especially if it's sensitive. Like if you want to do something that's not normal
Mm-hmm.
for people in your situation, you gotta keep it to yourself because them words people speak over you, and then you allow that to get in your mind, and then let's just say a situation comes that kind of sets you back. It's that what that person said, it's gonna creep his way and be
Yeah.
like, see, your mama told you that such and such and such and such. You supposed to sit down somewhere, and see,
Mm-hmm.
now look at you, and see, that kind of stuff. And then before you know it, you discouraged. People are, man, how you doing? Well, I caught myself last week doing that. I paused. Somebody was just like, man, hey Wayne, how you doing? Everybody know I'm upbeat, positive, I'm smiling. Hey Wayne, how you doing? Well, and my mind was about to say, well, and complain. I said, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I say, I'm better than I am yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say. It's like it's one of those things where you have to stay positive because
Yeah.
if not, it's gonna be a spiral,
Yeah. And
especially when you're dealing with diseases.
Yeah, and people don't realize it. They curse people with their words. Again, you
Yeah,
cannot be negative over somebody. If you gonna be speaking to me or have my name in your mouth, please make sure it's something positive after what you're saying after my name, because people
yeah,
don't realize that you curse people by saying negative things, and you wonder why people can't get their life together or try to do what they're saying that they want to do is because you're so negative about what they're wanting to do or what they're trying to do differently. And that's why you
yeah,
gotta move in silence. You have to
yeah,
move in silence. Don't tell everybody what you got going on. Don't tell everybody what
yeah,
you're doing or what your next moves, no matter who it is. Your parents, your grandparents, your auntie, uncle. No, don't tell nobody. Keep it to yourself until you've actually gone forward with it, until it's actually in
yeah,
motion.
yeah. What would you say if somebody who's just struggling to accept what they have going on? What advice would you give them?
Hmm. Stay to yourself. Well, no, 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 no. I take that back. Take it back. If you are struggling to accept, um, oh,
I got one. I got one just to kind of get it going for you. I
mm-hmm,
would say find go outdoors, get outdoors, ground yourself. If you don't, uh, if you can, take off your shoes, go in your backyard, or if you're in an apartment, go to a grassy area. Spend some time outdoors, put your feet in the grass, ground yourself. Um, that's one thing you can do to kind of, I don't know what it is about grounding. It just kind of clears your mind so you can
mm-hmm,
actually think. Because when you get that diagnosis, or that record keep playing over playing in your mind, it becomes a loop. And it's something about grounding that gives you some clarity. It puts the blinders on. I would say find something where you that puts you at peace to where you can think. And then once you start from there, then I would say probably find someone that you can trust, that who's positive to talk to, that's
Mhm.
gonna give you some words. If it's the pastor, the pastor, some people call the pastor, has their pastor number. You can call the pastor. Or if you have somebody who's really wise and that you trust, that could be someone that you could talk to. Because a lot of times what it is, we don't have nobody to talk to because we can't
Yeah.
trust nobody
Mhm.
to tell everybody our business.
I
And
agree.
so and so that's why it's good to have someone that you can really trust to talk to about it. Then once you get that off your chest, then I feel like you can go on YouTube or go on Google to look up like support
Mhm.
groups, um, or look up what you have to see what kind of resources are out there to help you with um, going through the process of accepting what you have and what steps you can take to
Yeah.
improve your situation.
Okay, yeah, no, most definitely I agree because I was gonna say like stay to yourself, but I should have said like sit with yourself. Like
Yeah.
just kind of like sit in silence, um just kind of like sit and just realize and think of like, what's going on, what's happening. Um and like you said, find somebody that's good that you can talk to, that you can trust, that will support you with this versus like telling you a whole bunch of just BS, basically.
Yeah.
Just a good support system or a good support person. And again, that could be a therapist, your best friend, like you said, the pastor, like whoever is gonna just give you the best advice with what you have going on. And then too, like you said, staying grounded, like for sure, because I love to be by myself. I love to sit in silence. I love to just sit in the quiet, meditate, and just listen. Because doing that, you can also hear from God. Praying
Mm.
is another thing too. Praying, asking God, what do I do next? Like, where do I go from here? Um, and just asking God for the tools of understanding, that discernment, that wisdom, and just acceptance of what you have going on.
Just
And yeah, resources as well. Just like you said, I would research whatever it is that you've been diagnosed with. Research what it is so that you can learn, get an understanding of that, and then look up success stories. Look up people's
mm.
testimonies so you can see how they got through the same sickness, the same disease. Um, yeah.
You know what? That last one, you really you did it. That's something I do. With the anxiety, I on YouTube, I look at success stories of people who had severe anxiety, who had the same symptoms that I deal with from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
and how they were able to overcome it. And one thing I've learned is sometimes you do have to sit, like you said, and just feel. Just feel. Don't try to run away from it or just try to quick fix it. Because
Yeah.
as people, when something's out of whack, I need to fix it. I need to
Mm-hmm.
hurry up and fix it. No, with dealing with things that are mental, sometimes you gotta sit and feel that. And sometimes you can even jot down on a journal, jot down your feelings. That's something I never really did. Like I've always written things that I've learned and thoughts, but my feelings, I never really just sat down and say, hey, I didn't like the way such and such did that because I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a confrontational person. So a lot of times I'm more than likely to write a person a letter and let them know, hey, how you made me feel in this situation. And so when I'm really in one of those modes, I'll sit there and say, you know what? I don't like the way I'm feeling right now. I don't I don't understand things that I have going on. And then I'll write, hey, what I'm gonna do next.
Mm-hmm.
Rather I'm gonna pray about it, where I'm gonna talk to my therapist about it, or hey, I'm gonna take me a walk, or go in the backyard and ground for 15 minutes, sit in the sun, and listen to some word or some meditations or something. And I've noticed that it helps to ease and calm the mind because it's like you getting it out. That's the
Yeah.
main thing. It's just getting that out. Because when it stays in there and it just festers, man, it just oh man, it it's crazy. Um, if you can't really just get that out,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I would say too, maybe like finding a healthy distraction. A healthy distraction would be good. Just finding something that can just take your mind off of it for a minute. Because when you are told something in that moment, it is kind of hard to accept it. So just like get your mind off of it. Just go do something healthy. Do something creative. Do something to just take your mind off it for a minute. That can also be a way to help you accept it. And then like once you're through with that healthy distraction, you can kind of like get back to it. Okay, I'm in a good space. What do I need to do next? What are my next moves? So yeah.
yeah. On that note, because I think that's a good ending point. We'll be back on next week. We have a couple topics that we're gonna come through with next week. We're gonna touch on, but how can people view this episode and where can they also get the merch for the Affirmative podcast?
Yes, y'all. So, you guys, please make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. This is where we post all of our podcast videos. We also post clips on TikTok and Instagram, and that's at Affirmative Podcast. We also have a Spotify. So, if you are driving and you can't watch the YouTube video, you can definitely go to Spotify, add us to your favorite podcast playlist, and you can listen to us that way. If you want us to speak at any events, any health engagements, or just events in general, you can hit us up on our email. That's at affirmative, not at, sorry. It's affirmativepodcast@gmail.com. And for our merch, we do have a website. It is affirmativepodcast.org. But you guys can also message me through TikTok or through Instagram, and I can definitely get you guys the link to view our merch as well.
Man, I appreciate you, cuz I love you like always. We will see y'all on the next one.
Love you. Peace.